Good morning. That's right. I think we have the best seats in the house.
Yeah, we definitely do, I think.
And we're joined by hundreds of thousands of our closest friends already here at the Art Museum. But it's getting exciting. You know, we are used to covering parades here.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, 6ABC covers a number of parades throughout the year, and we have the benefit of doing the Thanksgiving Day parade. But I think we're going to see something like we've never seen.
Yeah, you know, we're down here in front of the Art Museum every Thanksgiving morning, and that's exciting, but this is just over the top. We were let out with our car, about close to 10 blocks away, and it was like a pilgrimage walking here and meeting people who, a lot of them camped out since 4 o'clock in the morning, and generations of people who have been waiting their whole lives for this event.
This is an unbelievable event when you think about it is 9 in the morning, and there may be close to 1 million people on the Parkway at this point, and the Eagles aren't going to come through here probably till close to 1 o'clock when they take the stage behind us at the Art Museum. People have been living for this moment, have been waiting for this moment, dying for this moment for all eternity, for the Eagles to win a Super Bowl. It is cold, it is windy, as you can see from the papers blowing everywhere.
Papers all
of our notes are gone. But the energy here is ridiculous right now as we see them playing the game in the background.
Yeah, and the Eagles are winning right now. I think they are, right?
I think the Eagles are going to win this game.
I think so.
But at every turn, at every moment, at every score, the fans here are reacting. It's a party right now, a party we've been waiting for.
They haven't done the Philly special play yet, I don't think yet.
Oh, you know it's going to go crazy when they do.
Unbelievable. Called that play, suggested that play, the biggest, most gutsy call maybe ever made in a Super Bowl with so much on the line at the end of the half on a 4th and 1.
How many sandwiches do you think are going to be called the Philly special now? Local diner.
That is the new name of the cheesesteak at Pat's and Gino's or Jim's, the Philly special.
But you know, when you think about, Philadelphia is a football town, and all the other sports teams have had a championship parade. The Sixers, the Phillies, even the Soul have all had their parade. It is the Eagles' turn. Of course, they're having their parade in the chilly winter time. But you know what? If the Mummers can party in this type of temperature, so can we, right?
Glassboro, New Jersey's Cory Clement, who I spoke to a couple days after the game, said he expects millions. Brandon Graham, the defensive end who came up with that strip sack on Tom Brady in crunch time at the end of the game, he says he wants to see 6 million. By the way, the largest parade ever for a sporting event was the Cubs 2 years ago when they ended their 100-plus year drought. They got 5 million. So could we see that today on the Parkway, even starting back at the sports complex? 5 million. That should be the goal, to break the Cubs parade.
Man,
why not?
They're trying to get here. It's like a pilgrimage, walking over here, and the fact that we have people with tents, we have people with blankets.
Yes.
The team that never won a Super Bowl beat the team that won 5 times.
Right.
So it's like people are crazy over the top, and I love the fact that they're replaying it on the Jumbotrons.
Yes.
And whenever there's a big play, the crowd just go wild.
And it comes from a point of redemption. Remember them losing Super Bowl 39 13 years ago to the Patriots and Bill Belichick?
Yep.
This one felt oh so good the way they won it. Of all people, Nick Foles outdoing Tom Brady, a Hall of Famer. It's unbelievable the way this went down with Nick Foles and not Carson
It's the
Wentz.
stuff movies are made of, and it's so surreal to be here. I want to show you a shot of the Art Museum behind us. Richard, if you want to just zoom in and show us just how wonderful, and of course the fans are there as well. But the Art Museum is ready. We are ready. The fans are ready. It's our team, it's our town, it's our time. And we are ready for a big parade
Super Bowl champion.
and a party here at the Art Museum. So we're going to be here all day long. Cecily brought food, right?
I brought healthy food, and you brought cookies.
And I brought the energy. I brought the energy with these Eagles fans. They've been waiting for this moment. It's cold, it is freezing, it is windy. Nobody cares.
Exactly.
Fantastic. What a day. What a day.
It's not going to rain on this parade, that's for sure. All right. All right. So we'll be here throughout the morning. Tell them back to you guys, and we'll see you later here.
Out there who has done an awesome job, throughout the season. What do you guys got out there?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Matt. Matt, I'll pay you later. I appreciate that.
What have we done, like 3,000 parades together, I think? Pretty close to that?
Yeah, but this is going to be the granddaddy, I think, of
crazy.
all the parades we've ever done. And, we're sitting here in front of the Art Museum, and if we look all the way to City Hall, it is just a sea of green.
Yeah.
I mean, the people are out there, and many of them got out here overnight.
This isn't a typical morning commute in Philadelphia?
Well, I live in Jersey. I wouldn't know,
Bigger.
but it certainly was an adventure getting here, but it was a lot of fun, though, right?
Yeah, and we have people with tents here. We have people who said that they came out at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and we're sitting here, we're talking about the season, we're talking about this team, and it's not just the fact that we won the big game, we won the Super Bowl. It's the fact that it's a really great group of guys. I mean, this team is really
like me and
special.
Jeff. Yeah, we're
even better than
down
the two
to
of
earth.
them.
They're so likable, and especially a team you can get behind. That whole underdog role, we had a lot of fun with that. The players had a lot of fun with that, but it is so true. Nobody from the beginning gave this team a shot. If you go back to training camp and you think about what Doug Peterson said in training camp, he said that this team is just as talented as those Green Bay Packers Super Bowl teams in the 1990s. And everyone
was on the team when they won.
Yeah, and everyone looked at Doug like, what is he
Crazy.
talking about? But as the season progressed, as we went through training camp, we saw this team winning. Next thing you know, they win 9 straight games, and you're thinking, wow, this team is something special.
And the injuries that they sustained, too, which brought them together. So.
And remember, they finished dead last year. They rebounded. They started winning games. There were still mistakes. There were still things they needed to correct, but they were winning on the road. Mm-hmm. They were winning close games, and that is a sign of a good football team. And as things progressed, when Carson went down, Malcolm Jenkins made a monumental locker room speech in Los Angeles after that Rams game. They had clinched, and it was a tough scene. But he said, we're not going down like this. We're going to rally behind Nick, and we're going to make this happen. And from that point on, remember, Nick Foles led them back in that game on the road against the Rams, and that was the start of it. And when you look at what this team has done, they're likable guys. They're guys you can root behind. And it is the ultimate Rocky story as we sit here, 100 yards from the Rocky statue at the Art Museum. It's a true Philadelphia story.
Yeah, I sit here and I think, okay, which of the players will get the biggest hand? They'll all get a rousing ovation. But I think you take a player like Cory Clement, who is a local kid who has a wonderful story, wasn't drafted. If he takes that podium today, I think this Parkway is just going to explode.
And what's amazing about Cory Clement's story is he was the Eagles' leading receiver in the Super Bowl.
Right.
It's remarkable. He is the only undrafted rookie free agent running back in history to have 100 yards receiving.
Right.
Well, how about Brent Selleck, though? I mean, he's been with the Eagles his entire career, 12 years. I mean, there've got to be some big cheers for him as well.
He said they have to win this thing. They did, and we're here to celebrate.
Exactly. So 1 o'clock, I think the rally is supposed to get underway. And again, a sea of green here at the Art Museum and along the Parkway. These folks are ready. The parade may not have started yet, but the party is definitely underway here at the Art Museum. So we'll be here throughout the day, and we can't wait. Until then, we'll toss it back to Matt and Tam. Guys, how you doing over there?
We're popsicles, but we don't feel it because we're having such a great time.
I can't wait.
It's interesting that they talk about Cory Clement. We were out in the crowd. There's a lot of people here from Glassboro. They said they came out specifically for him because they're just so touched.
Yeah, you should be. This is the best seat.
We do. But, we paid a lot of money for this ticket.
And talking about Sylvester Stallone,
yes.
I want Bradley Cooper to be here.
I bet you do. Okay.
And so is Jeff.
Oh, do you do that? Really?
Oh, I'm a big fan, of course. How can you not be?
Yeah,
Okay.
Silver Linings Playbook.
Well, you never know. I might get up there and sing,
Oh, boy. That's
we
the clear
are
out the Parkway.
champions.
That's when they want everyone to go
My friend.
home.
All right, let's send it back.
But where we're sitting, we will be able to see the double-decker buses and the players approach. And, of course, we'll be able to hear all of the speeches and the surprises. And until that starts, we're just schmoozing with all of the various hundreds of thousands of people who have been here since this morning, some of them getting here overnight.
Right now, that's all we can see. Shortly before 10 o'clock, I made you nervous because I stood up on my seat to get video because we're actually on a raised platform, and standing up and looking around, all you see are people. I mean, you can't see an end to the people. It's amazing.
It's the most amazing thing I have ever seen. And you talk about people last night camping out for this opportunity. People have been waiting a lifetime, generations, to see the Eagles win the Super Bowl and host this party. Forget about being a parade. This is a party and a celebration for all those Eagles fans that were in Minneapolis and all those Eagles fans that were back home watching in restaurants, bars, at home. We can all celebrate this Eagles championship together today.
It's a good thing Philadelphia schools were canceled today, because there would be a lot of kids who would be marked absent.
I know.
But this is history.
But this is history.
Where else
and
could you
why
get
not?
this? Forget social
Exactly.
studies. Forget a history class today. This is history in Philadelphia, and there's been so much history in this city, and now we can add to that today, finally, with our Philadelphia Eagles, our beloved Eagles, winning that Super Bowl, and we can honor them today properly.
And how about Jeffrey Lurie right now? How do you think he feels? I mean, it's been called an obsessive quest of his to win the Super Bowl. I mean, for him, we all say this is our best day of our lives and stuff like that, but for him, it really must be.
He has been dying to win this thing. He bought the team in 1994 for roughly $185 million. People killed him at the time, saying he overpaid for the Eagles, and he even started to question himself whether or not he made a great investment. Veterans Stadium was not the best conditions. The bubble were not the best conditions for the Eagles. He changed that, built the NovaCare complex, built Lincoln Financial Field. He came oh so close for years with Andy Reid and Donovan McNabb. They came up short time and time again. He tried with Chip Kelly. That blew up. And he cut his losses with Chip. And he talked about hiring a Doug Peterson, trying to get emotional intelligence. And what did that mean? Everyone didn't understand what that quite meant when he said emotional intelligence. And you heard all season, and even last year, the players love playing for Doug Peterson. And that was what Jeffrey Lurie envisioned, getting a guy that can connect with his players. Doug, who has been in the locker room, was a backup quarterback to Brett Favre for years, even started here as he warmed up, basically getting Donovan ready for his long tenure. But this was all envisioned by Jeffrey Lurie, who has been at this, been dying, been starving for this moment, and finally he has that Vince Lombardi trophy.
Let's talk a little bit of sports news, as we were mentioning, about the Eagles offensive coordinator interviewing for the Colts job, Frank Reich. That's a little bit of mumblings around some of the fans here today. What are your thoughts about that? It was kind of a breaking news.
If Frank Reich does leave for the Colts job and goes to Indianapolis, I don't think, in my opinion, it's a major loss, because he's not truly calling the plays. He's helping Doug Peterson, but Doug is calling the plays, and even as we saw in the Super Bowl, Nick Foles is suggesting the Philly special in the biggest game of your life, 4th and 1 at the end of the half. So Doug is the true offensive coordinator calling the plays. A bigger loss, in my opinion, would be Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, because he's the boss of the defense, where Doug really oversees the offense. I don't think it'd be a major loss. Anytime you lose a guy, it hurts, but I think they can recover from that.
And anytime you win a Super Bowl, your coordinators are going to be up for a job.
And think about their quarterbacks coach, John DeFilippo. They blocked him from a few jobs last year because they wanted him to work with Carson Wentz. And he's been Carson Wentz's guy. He's helped him develop. So, he could be gone this offseason or next offseason. Frank Reich could be gone. Jim Schwartz was mentioned to be up for the Giants job, who went to Pat Shurmur. So there's the potential that a lot of guys can get picked and get another job and a better job.
How about some of the players? I mean, there's been a lot of rumors that Brent Selleck may be retiring after 12 years as an Eagle.
Yeah, and they have a lot of free agents. I mean, you think of Nigel Bradham, the linebacker who played a major role. LeGarrette Blount. But I think they can get away if LeGarrette leaves. Darren Sproles is a free agent. They have other running backs. They have Jay Ajayi. They have Cory Clement, who saw a major role going from undrafted to a role that was really unprecedented in a Super Bowl. So I think they'll be okay there. But they do have some loose ends. I mean, Trey Burton, who threw that touchdown pass to Nick Foles, he's a free agent as well. So they have to figure out, they can't keep everybody, and they're going to try to make the best decisions, but they have a great nucleus and a great team.
Yeah, and that's down the road. Today we're talking about a big party, and we're going to be here, and we'll be here waiting for the Eagles to arrive and the celebration that will get underway.
This may never end. We may be here till tomorrow.
We're never leaving.
I hope
it's
you
a
have
lot
your
of fun.
sleeping bag.
All right, let's toss to Brian Taff and Shari Williams, who are also on the Parkway. They've got a little bit of coverage for us, too. Hey, you guys. How's it going?
Hey, Rick.
Going to go to Cecily Tynan and Rick Williams and Jeff Skversky. They are live at the Art Museum. That's where the whole thing is going to come to a climax later today, guys.
That's right, Jim. Thank you. And, you know, in 30 years here at Action News, I have never seen anything like, I've never seen a crowd this size. And again, the rally is just 2 hours away. I've never seen a crowd this size, a spectacle this big. And you and I have had the pleasure of covering the Thanksgiving Day Parade for close to a decade, the 4th of July concerts, the papal visit. All of that pales in comparison today.
It really does pale in comparison. We've got people who have been out here since 4 o'clock in the morning. We've got tents, we've got banners, and you look down the parkway, you can't see the end of the people. Philadelphia Eagles fans, we've been through a lot, and we really deserve this.
This city has been waiting a long time. How about nearly 21,000 days since the Eagles' last championship in 1960? But look, they had never won the Super Bowl until Sunday. This is the big one. This is the one this city has been waiting for. And here we are. And you look out, it is a sea of green. As Cecily and Rick said, I'm looking back at City Hall, and all I see is people.
Right.
People,
and Super Bowl hats.
Everywhere. And you look out on the parkway, and it is just a constant stream of Eagles fans, and there's an energy and a buzz in here that is hard to describe. Hopefully you can see it on TV with the aerial shots, but the energy has been unbelievable from the moment we walked through the crowd when we were dropped off like 6 blocks away.
I remember when the NFL draft was here, just a short few months ago, and we would talk to some of the people, and they were so excited and seeing the Lombardi trophy. They said this could only be topped by a Super Bowl celebration here in Philadelphia.
And here we are.
And here we are.
Yeah.
And again, it is a dream come true for so many people who have waited all of their lives to see the Eagles reign supreme in football, and today is the day that we celebrate.
And then you hear that because what's really great is that they have the Jumbotrons out here, and they're showing the Super Bowl again. So
right.
Whenever there's a big play, there's a big cheer, and we get to relive that moment.
And it's kind of neat when you know what's going to happen.
It's a brilliant idea down here because, as we've talked about, the fans have been down here, some overnight, some 4 or 5 in the morning. The crowd is only building and building and building until the players make their way down the parkway to address the crowd. But we're reliving. We saw the Nick Foles Philly special, 4th and 1. The crowd went bananas.
And the Brandon Graham sack.
And we're reliving the game right here. The greatest day in Eagles fans' lives in the history of Philadelphia Eagles football, and we're able to watch that again and relive it again. And we're able to celebrate with this fan base here that has been starving, dying for a championship.
You know, and everyone's in a great mood. Everyone's happy. It's been very peaceful.
The weather's good. Thank you.
It's a little cold, but hey, we can handle this.
Yes,
it's a little windy if we're going to complain.
Right, exactly. So
it's amazing.
Yep. So we are here watching and waiting. This is where the rally will be, and we've got the best seats in the house, and we're going to bring you all of the color and the charisma and the energy as soon as it arrives here. Until then, Jim, back to you in the studio.
Actually, you have the who are at Aikens Oval getting ready for the big ceremony. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. And welcome to the biggest block party this town has ever seen. I think the crowd has gotten larger and more excited with every passing moment. You know, those big Jumbotrons behind us, the crowds can monitor the progress of the team, and it seems as they get closer, the feverish pitch seems to get higher and higher. The decibels seem to get louder.
It does. It feels like we're at a rave with a couple million of our closest fans. There's music. We've been dancing. We've been trying to get Jeff to kind of loosen up, do a little dancing.
Well,
things are being thrown. We got this, I call it an Eagles rally towel, but it's more like a beach towel.
Someone just threw it up to us, and we're keeping it.
We've had beach balls being thrown around. Matt, our producer, caught football that got thrown across the crowd, and it's just everyone's so excited. It really does feel like a party.
It feels like we're in a nightclub with 1 million Eagles fans here alone, and they're playing football. The energy has been ridiculous from the get-go since we arrived here early this morning, and I can't imagine what it's going to be like when they go to the parkway, step up on those rocky steps, and address the
voice right now.
Hey, Jim.
Dancing.
We can see the flashing lights of the police motorcade about maybe 300 or 400 yards from us. And I think it's safe to say that this parade is almost at its finish line. If we could borrow a line from, runners like you and me, Cecily, this parade is almost about to cross the finish line here, and this crowd will erupt as soon as these players. You know, we have to remember that most of these fans have never seen the Eagles in person.
Yeah.
Certainly many of them gone to the games, but most of these fans know the Eagles. They're Super Bowl champions only from television. And to see them in person, to see them arrive here as Super Bowl champions, as their heroes that they've been rooting for all season long, it's really going to be something to marvel.
Well, and what's amazing is when you look around, not only do you see a sea of people on the parkway, you look up and you see every single rooftop deck is filled with people, every single balcony, because when you think about it, this is the only time we will be able to celebrate the Eagles winning the Super Bowl for the first time.
Right.
So it seemed like everybody just wanted to come down here and enjoy it in person, or try to at least, if they could.
I have never seen this in my entire life. Growing up here, this city has been deprived of championships for years and years and years, especially the Eagles. And for this team to finally do it, a team that maybe when the season started, you did not expect this. You did not expect them to go this far. For a team to make not only the playoffs, but to win it all and do it with a backup quarterback. Right. This city has been dying to celebrate something like this, and here we are, just moments away. You can see the police motorcade
coming down right now.
The buses of players coming down the parkway, and this crowd has been erupting all morning long, and all they can do is wait just a little bit longer, a little bit longer.
Exactly, they're
getting
closer.
I'm told Bob Brooks is in the crowd right now. Can we talk to Bob?
Hey, Bob.
Hey guys, if you can hear me, there they go. There go the birds right now coming right down the parkway. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, I've been hearing you guys talk. There very well could be 1 million people down around the parkway and the art museum combined. Just take this in. People have been out here since I've been told some since 5, 6 a.m. waiting for this moment. You know, our legs are sore, our backs are sore. We've all been out here standing. I got down here around 9 a.m. But well worth the wait. I'll tell you what, this is unbelievable.
All right, Bob.
That looks
Thank you as we continue to watch.
Okay.
All right, we can actually see the double-decker buses carrying the players. We were kind of curious as to how they would approach Aikens Oval, but it appears like they're going to come. They're going to go to the
looks like they're going to the
Yep.
right side of the art museum and come around.
Yeah, the underdogs are in the crowd. We're not underdogs anymore.
Yeah.
Finally able to celebrate a world championship with the Philadelphia Eagles. There's been Eagles chants going on. You can hear it in the background along with the music as we watch on jumbo screens here the parade coming down the parkway through Aikens Oval. Carson Wentz on the bus holding the trophy with Doug Peterson and the quarterbacks, the cheerleaders and Swoop leading the crowd here. And it is starting to get really loud. If it wasn't loud earlier, it is really starting to explode with energy and excitement and buzz as we can see the Eagles parading through the streets of Philadelphia.
A lot of people holding up banners and more people holding up their cell phones and capturing this moment on their phones and videotaping it as we see the cheerleaders, we see the big Eagles flags coming down.
Here they come. The champions have arrived in the Art Museum area. This is our team, this is our time, this is our town, and here come our world champions.
Rick, there's Doug Peterson hoisting the Lombardi trophy. He's done it as a player. A lot of people did not expect him to do it as a coach. When he was hired, a lot of people criticized the hire of the Eagles, criticized Jeffrey Lurie. But Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman believed in Doug Peterson, believed in his philosophy. Jeffrey Lurie said emotional intelligence, it's among the qualities he wanted in a head coach, and he certainly got it, along with one of the most aggressive, gutsy play callers you have ever seen.
That's right. And as you have said, you know, and many of these fans will tell you that they would have just been happy to see the Eagles go into the postseason. That was just their expectations, especially after Carson went down. But to be able to beat Atlanta, beat Minnesota, go to the Super Bowl, and certainly beat the Patriots, 3 underdog games, and here they are, Super Bowl champions. What a journey, what an odyssey it has been for this team.
Do you know how rare this is, to be honest? Last year they were 7-9 and dead last. Not only did they go worst to first, but they won it all. They're only the 4th team, Rick, only the 4th team in NFL history to have a losing season and then the next year come back and win it all. This is remarkable. As we see the players of buses and coaches, this is just unbelievable. Let's go to Brian and Shari with a better view of the parade coming down the Parkway.
Okay, hey, Brian and Shari. Thank you, Chad, and what a party it is and what a party it will be once these players show themselves on the steps of the Art Museum. A lot of anticipation here, a lot of excitement certainly, but quite a bit of anticipation because, again, as we mentioned, so many of these people have been here since this morning. We got here, 8 o'clock this morning? And
it was already crowded.
There was already thousands here at Aikens Oval.
You know,
and now the champions have arrived, and we can only anticipate what it'll be like when they slowly but surely descend down the Art Museum steps to the
Finally, says
to the
banner.
admiration.
Yeah, that's how we all feel.
Finally a Super Bowl parade. And as Chad Pradelli talked to Nelson Aguilar, he's one of the unsung heroes of this football team. You think back to the struggles and the failures he had, as you talked about earlier, Cecily, about Nick Foles saying, don't be afraid to fail. Nelson Aguilar was a guy who was almost cut from this football team a year ago. He had among the most drops in the NFL. He comes back this year stronger and better than ever. He has a career year, 8 touchdowns. He has more yards and touchdowns in his first 2 years combined. A first-round draft pick that really has bounced back. And remember, he made a key catch on that final drive that led to that Zach Ertz game-winning touchdown in the final minutes. Nelson Aguilar out of the slot had a remarkable year, and they needed him to do what he did. Otherwise, we would not be sitting here today, and these Eagles fans would not be celebrating.
That's right.
Well, you know, Alshon Jeffrey promised we would win a Super Bowl. Of course,
Yes,
he was a Bears, Chicago Bears when that happened, but came over, and hey, look what happened.
So many unsung heroes, and that is why we're seeing just a sea of green. People are standing shoulder to shoulder, and, you know, the crowd has been large. It has been noisy, as it should be, but they've certainly been controlled and just really waiting to be able to have the type of party that they've been anticipating since Sunday night at about 10:30.
And everybody got one beer thanks to Lane Johnson, right?
Exactly.
Thanks to Lane Johnson and Bud Light. Lane Johnson, I'll never forget, said to 6ABC in training camp, hey, if we win a Super Bowl, I'm buying beer for everyone. Well, who knew they would start the way they did, win 9 straight, get into the playoffs, and bang, Nick Foles would get the job done, Super Bowl MVP. Have a drink on Lane Johnson and Bud Light today.
Exactly. Let's check back in with Brian and Shari. They're also on the parade route a little farther down where the Eagles had just passed them, but still a sea of green as people aren't going anywhere as we get ready for this rally to start. Brian, Shari?
Yeah, guys, we're
NBA titles twice.
But Cecily, there's only been 2 professional championships in the last 34 years.
Yeah.
The Phillies in 2008, 10 years ago, and your Eagles on Sunday.
Yeah.
This
We've
town has been starving, and this is a baseball town. It's a hockey town. It is a basketball town, but it is really a football town.
It's a football town, all right.
It really is, and you could see it right here. And I was at the Phillies parade. I saw that with my own eyes, and it was incredible. Down on Broad Street, it was 10 people deep, but this is on a whole nother planet.
Well, you think about all the other championship celebrations that have taken place in the city for the Sixers and the Phillies and the Flyers and so they've all taken place in warm weather. There's a chill in the air out here, but nobody's complaining. And
it feels like 90 degrees in Miami, the way.
We're tough in Philly.
Right, well, you know, if the Mummers can party in this type of temperature, then so can we. And certainly we have an excellent reason for doing so.
Well, if you look at the crowds too, you ever see the Emperor Penguins in the winter? How they're together in mass, staying warm. So I think that's kind of what we're doing here. Nobody's complaining.
And to really put into perspective how loud it is, we are sitting shoulder to shoulder, all three of us, and we can barely hear each other talk. That's how loud it is. That's how loud it has been since early this morning on the Parkway. And as fans are making their way down even from Broad Street and Center City, it's getting louder. You see more crowds, and they're ready to erupt and continue the celebration into the night.
Well, they've billed this rally as one for the ages, with plenty of surprises. Now, we can only guess what those surprises will be, but one of the surprises has been how collective, how unified this crowd has been.
Everybody's singing in the crowd right now. This is fantastic.
It's a big, giant dance party.
All right, Jeff. Jim wants to see you loosen up, so go ahead.
All right, this is very good, Jeff.
It's really a party.
We're trying to loosen Jeff up.
I'm going to retire now because that was pretty bad.
What do you think, Jim? Pretty good, huh?
We see Jeff pretty loose, more than enough. So that's okay. Hey, Jeff.
Like we're at a dance party.
Hey, Jeff.
It really does.
Jim has a question for you.
No, I just want him to stop talking for a second.
Jim doesn't enjoy my dancing.
No.
You know, Ron Jaworski and Deuces
stop dancing
applaud
for
my
sure.
dancing. Jim, you're always negative.
No more dancing, Jeff.
He's
No
having
more
fun.
dancing.
He's having fun, Jim.
I am.
We'll try to
We're
keep
all in a
the
very...
dancing to a minute.
They're encouraging me, and I'm just trying to keep up with this Eagles fan base here that has been dancing. And I've said it before, it feels like we're at a nightclub. It does.
Well, it's been a while since I've been in a nightclub,
Yeah,
but
me
yeah,
too.
this is certainly a party to remember. That's for sure.
All right, guys, thank you so much, and we'll get back to you in just...
Thanks so much.
All right.
We'll get back to you in just a minute, but I do want to have an opportunity to ask Deuces Rogers and Ron Jaworski what they're thinking about, just as we're looking at some of these pictures, and you know, we've all seen some video from the Patriots Super Bowl championship parades and the Giants. You know, those are cities who have done this a few times, and I think we're redefining what a Super Bowl parade really is here, and I'm wondering whether any other city in the future is going to be able to approach the kind of... To Rick Williams, Cecily Tynan, and Jeff Skversky.
All right, thank you, Jim. You know, I didn't know Swoop had the type of moves that he has been displaying since he's gotten here. I mean, he's
He's almost
quite a
as good
dancer.
as Jeff dancing now.
but again, just to see a humanity, and the art museum looks wonderful as it's swathed in green, the Super Bowl champion banners, and yes, the many children that are here certainly shows that this is the organization is more than a family. It is a cohesive unit that has withstood adversity, withstood low expectations, the underdog status, and as they arrive here at the Art Museum, we celebrate their success, but also them just being nice guys who we could
Look at the little kids walking
we
down
could
the
model
steps.
ourselves after.
I have to say, as a mom, I love seeing the kids, you know, the players arriving, running down the steps.
They have
and
no
enjoying the
idea
day.
what their father did. They have no clue what it means to this city, but they're about to find out. And Rick and Cecily, you talk about family and the importance of family for this football team. Jeffrey Lurie has a Christmas party every year. It is extremely important for him that the entire organization is there to have a moment from the coaches who grind away, work 16, 18-hour days to spend time and really celebrate as a family year in and year out. That is so important to the Luries. They've done it every year, and this is why this team has been successful over the long haul. They haven't won the big one until now, but that's why they wanted Doug Peterson to come back, because he understands it. He's been a player here. He's been an assistant coach here. Now as a head coach, he does understand the importance of family and connecting with the extended family, which is Eagles Nation, the fan base that is here today in full force
And Peterson said all along that he really wanted to do this for the fans of the Eagles, that this was a day for the fans.
And Jeffrey Lurie has said this team, he may own it, but it belongs to the fans.
That's for sure. And how many times have we said that this type of celebration will bring the city together in ways that maybe no one has ever seen or will ever see again? The very first Super Bowl celebration for the city of Philadelphia. It is history, and it is something we can all celebrate, revel in, because I'll never forget it. This rally hasn't even started yet, and it's already created so many memorable memories for all of us just sitting here since this morning.
Rick, you were saying it's like Mardi Gras. We're renaming
Lombardi Gras.
Lombardi Gras.
There's the new
I think
term.
that's perfect.
Lombardi
That's
Gras.
really what it feels like. The cheerleaders are out there. They don't really have to do a lot of cheering and try to get this crowd.
No, they don't have to do anything.
Their job is easy.
This is an easy day to cheer for this football team, and it has been a fun season, an amazing season, a remarkable, unprecedented season from what they may have accomplished on the field to get to this point. If you think back what they did, Nick Foles is a backup, the first since 2001, Tom Brady, to start 3 or fewer games and go out and be a backup and then win a Super Bowl.
Right.
It never happens.
Yeah,
Rarely
and
happens.
the fact that we now have the first quarterback in history to not just throw, but catch a touchdown during the Super Bowl. And that's something to talk about, with Foles catching that touchdown.
The Philly special.
Nick Foles
Philly.
outdueled Tom Brady. Think about that. Tom Brady's going to go into the Hall of Fame, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, and Nick Foles was better in the Super Bowl on Super Bowl Sunday for a guy there weren't high expectations for when he came back here as a backup. Certainly weren't high expectations the way the regular season ended, but when Nick Foles takes that stage in just a few minutes, he is going to get the ovation of a lifetime for ending this drought for this city.
That's right. He outdueled Tom Brady, and Peterson outdueled Bill Belichick. Two teams, dynasty versus destiny. We're seeing destiny right here.
Really, David versus Goliath. And this whole city, I don't know if you guys could tell the last few days, but everyone's been a lot nicer. I was at the airport the other day. People are coming up to me, and I'm like, hey, how are you doing? They said, great, grinning ear to ear. The city's just happy, and I love seeing my city this happy and this excited.
When we got out the van this morning and everyone was happy to see us, a couple guys tried to sell me a banner and a couple of hats. And
you said you'll get them on the way back. I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah, remind me.
I don't know if our viewers can hear it, but they're playing Tom Petty's "Won't Back Down," and everybody's singing it because that's what the Eagles were like.
It feels like we're at a concert.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it really
true.
does.
It is.
A concert for the Eagles.
And it just speaks to the feeling that we weren't in Minneapolis, but can you just imagine what it must have felt like to be on the field when the realization sunk in that the Eagles were finally Super Bowl champions? As we take a look at Jeffrey Lurie, Coach Peterson there, as they're getting ready for this rally to finally get underway here on the steps of the Art Museum.
It looks like Jeffrey Lurie never wants to lose that grip on the Vince Lombardi trophy. This team has been playing forever to get that, finally gets it. And Jeffrey Lurie, such a competitive guy, and at times people have questioned his competitiveness with this football team, and that was always unfair because it's never wavered. Jeffrey Lurie, from the moment he bought this team in 1994, this was his ultimate goal. It took longer than he wanted. It took longer than these fans wanted that are out here today on the Parkway, but at the end of the day, they got it done. And Jeffrey Lurie found a way to get it done. He cut his ties with Chip Kelly, went to Doug Peterson because he believed Doug Peterson could deliver, and he did just that in his second year.
Yep. Well, once again, we are here, joined by millions of our closest friends, and what a party it has turned out to be. As we close in on the 2 o'clock hour, it has met all expectations of what a Super Bowl celebration should be here in the city of Philadelphia. Long-awaited Super Bowl celebration here in the city of brotherly love.
Sometimes I pinch myself that we're even here because it's hard to believe this team, it's starting to sink in now, being out here, but sometimes it's hard to believe that they actually won this thing because it's been such a painful process for this town and this city. But we're finally here, and everyone's ready to celebrate.
All right. I think we're getting ready to start.
Right now.
Let's listen.
We are here to celebrate the Super Bowl 52 champion, Philadelphia Eagles! I'm Dave Spadaro, Eagles Insider, and I, like every one of you,
All right.
Well, that was a victory party.
We're on.
Hey, Jeff.
Just
you look
powdering
great,
his
Jeff.
nose.
That
Yes.
was one for the ages.
We are the champions.
We are the
I have
champions.
confetti in my hair.
And, you know, there's so many different speakers that really hit it home. And, you know, Jason Kelce, in many ways, what a colorful commentary he had. Just breaking it down about the naysayers who said this team was not going to accomplish what it did. And boy, did they ever in such
Minus
a
the colorful ending, Jason Kelce's message.
I was talking about the outfit.
The Mummers outfit is fantastic. But Jason Kelce's message, and everyone's message really up here, was the same. The city is full of underdogs. This team is full of underdogs. And he named every player and every person in the front office, from the coach down to the GM, down to the essentially old GM, now the de facto GM, to every player who was told they're not good enough. We talked about Cory Clement at the start of this, a guy that nobody wanted, was undrafted.
Right.
Gets a shot with the Eagles. He has the most receiving yards on the Eagles and the most in NFL history by an undrafted rookie running back.
I like how he said an underdog is a hungry dog, and hungry dogs
run faster.
Fast.
Right.
Well, that is from one of their assistant coaches who came up with that line, and he tells his players that all the time. And it's not always about if you're the most talented player, you're the most talented team. It's about who wants it the most. And those guys on that stage, on those steps behind us, all talked about that today.
And to a man, you could tell that they got what that Super Bowl victory meant to the city of Philadelphia. Each of them said, we know what this meant to all of you, and we appreciate the support, and we're going to try and bring you another one over and over again.
And Jeffrey Lurie, who's been chasing this since '94, talked about the selflessness, the compassion, and the love between the team members. I mean, I think that was really a reoccurring theme about how much of a family they were, and also how this is just the beginning. Many of the players said the same thing, that, hey, we're going to be back. This is not the end. This is just the start.
They have said this over and over again from the start of this, that they are built for the long-term success. Jeffrey Lurie, Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz said, we're not done. This is just the beginning of this, and we can get used to these parades and these celebrations because this team is built to do it over and over and over again.
And you know Carson Wentz wants to win one. You know that.
You could see it, and you know, you could really see his expression and his facial expressions during Super Bowl week, just about how tough it was for him to go down with that season-ending injury against the Rams out in Los Angeles earlier in the year. But he was the ultimate teammate, standing behind Nick Foles. Beginning of the season, Nick Foles was in that meeting room, in that film room, helping Carson get ready, helping Carson get off to that great, amazing start that this team got off to. And guess what? Carson Wentz returned the favor, and he was happy for Nick Foles. Yeah, he wanted to be out there, but Carson Wentz was the ultimate teammate in early in the morning, helping Nick get ready.
He said it was bittersweet, and so you can imagine how it was, but through it all, the two quarterbacks stuck together to help bring back this Super Bowl championship to Philadelphia. What a rally it has been. It is starting to disperse, although I think a lot of these folks are going to stick around and really try to remember the memorable moment that this afternoon brought to Philadelphia. It's no one's leaving anytime soon.
They're going to have a tough time getting out of here anyhow.
Well, that's a whole different story.
Go get something to eat and take your time. It's going to take a while.
What would you guys say is the most memorable part of today?
The most memorable part?
Yeah.
Jason Kelce. Definitely in the Mummers here, I think. I mean, as far as speakers.
So, but I also think when they arrived here and that this art museum area just started to erupt with excitement and anticipation. I mean, it was a party. It was a block party for much of the morning, much of the afternoon. But when those buses arrived, you could feel it.
How about you? What do you think?
I loved at the very end there when everybody's singing, "We are the champions."
Yes.
I loved also the speeches by the true underdogs, Chris Long and Lane Johnson, getting the crowd fired up. Look, I mean, the whole Eagles Nation was barking for those two guys. And they're the two guys that came up, went on Amazon.com and bought those dog masks. They were talking about it in the lunchroom at the NovaCare complex about, hey, nobody's counting on us to win. They think we're underdogs. We're going to prove to them, and I have something in store. We're going to go buy some dog masks.
And something else also memorable for me, Jeff, is your dancing. I will never forget.
I'm going to have nightmares.
What about putting on makeup right there on TV?
Well, that's another thing, too. I'll never forget that
was
either.
pretty bad, too.
But we're so happy to share this moment with you, Jeff, because we know how hard you worked throughout the season, studying the Eagles, learning the players, developing a relationship with the players. So we were glad we were able to share this moment
appreciate it.
with you.
Listen, it's a pleasure to cover the Philadelphia Eagles in my hometown, a team that I grew up rooting for.
Absolutely.
I never thought I would see this day, and to be here to see and witness this with Eagles fans is just remarkable.
You know, about an hour ago, Jeff turned to me and he said, "This is the most fun I've ever had working."
Real? Because of Cecily and me, or just?
No, I don't
More
think
so because of Cecily.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Where's your makeup? But anyway, so it has been a great afternoon, and I guess we have to wind it down.
I think we're supposed to toss back to Jim.
Okay.
Man, what a day,
Jim, what did you think? What were your...
Oh, well, we'll have an opportunity to express ourselves in just a moment. Thank you, guys. Great job. But we do want to show you some of the pictures of...
So, but yeah, they're sticking around. You know, this was a gift that you don't really want to unwrap very quickly. So these Eagles fans are still trying to soak up as much of the excitement and enthusiasm and the history.
We're fighting over blankets right now because now that the sun has dropped, the temperature has really dropped as well. Sun's lower in the horizon, but it's a mud pit now looking at Aikens Oval. But man, what a build-up, and how exciting for the fans to get so close to the players.
It was an amazing day and an amazing experience, an experience that we've envisioned for a lifetime, and finally we were able to see with our own eyes. And as everyone is leaving, every Eagle that spoke on that podium reminded Eagles Nation, we're going to be back. This is not the first parade, or this is not the last parade, this is the first parade of many to come. And Carson Wentz says, everybody better get used to this. And the way this Eagles team is built, we can all get used to this because they are built for the long haul. And you could sense that they really appreciated the fans coming out here. I don't know if we have totals yet, but the most people I have ever seen in my life in one gathering that I have ever seen out for this Eagles team. And hopefully we can come back out year in and year out. And you can tell that they really appreciate this fan base. When they started that parade from South Philadelphia by the sports complex and they went up Broad Street towards City Hall, you could see the guys getting off of the parade buses and greeting the fans. Doug Peterson bringing the Lombardi trophy out. The fans were embraced by these players. This team loves this fan base.
Well, talk about some of the players. We heard from some of the players this morning who are anxious to get off the bus and meet their fans personally. We have some reaction, some of the interviews this morning about how excited they were to go face-to-face with some of their fan base. Take a listen.
You know, we got a little bit too much personality to be contained in one bus. I mean, I don't even know. It's just pure craziness right now.
What's this like?
Hey, this is amazing, baby. We love you, Philly.
Brent, is this everything you dreamed of?
It's more. It's more than everything I dreamed of. This is the greatest moment ever. Philly, we love you. We did it. We did it.
I feel like the players were giving a big gift back to the city of Philadelphia.
And you have to be really happy for Brent Selleck. He has been here through it all. Drafted more than a decade ago. He came oh so close for years and years, wasn't able to get it done. And you could sense how much that was weighing on him as his career is winding down. You don't know how much the tight end has left, the longest tenured Eagle, the longest tenured athlete in this city. You don't know how much he has left. And if this is it for Brent Selleck, he could go out as a champion.
Absolutely.
You could walk away and say, I accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish in my career.
And he'll be remembered for helping to bring the Philadelphia's first Super Bowl championship here to the city of brotherly love. A lot of folks still hanging
last,
around.
Right?
That's what they're saying.
We heard it here several times. That was definitely a reoccurring theme, that we'll be back. This is just the beginning.
Yep, exactly. So, again, the folks are still here. Many of the fans still here.
We're still cheering.
The music's still playing, still cheering.
They don't want to leave.
This party might go on for a couple more hours.
Why would you want to leave this? It is the greatest celebration I think our city has ever had. And hopefully it is not the last time we are sitting here talking about the Eagles winning a Super Bowl. Hopefully we're back in this position next year, back in the big game, and winners and champions of the world again.
As with any party, it's officially over when the music stops, and I think the music just stopped.
So they can hear us more clearly, right?
Exactly. But we're here, and we'll continue to monitor the situation. Jim, we'll throw it back to you in the studio as we continue to wind things down here.
Let's go back to Rick and Cecily and Jeff. What are you guys thinking about as this event closes out today? A little louder, Rick.
Eagles country here at Aikens Oval. What was... He didn't hear me?
He said cleanup.
It said cleanup, yes. What was Eagles country here at Aikens Oval is now a muddy mess, and we're just going to show you a little bit of, the crowds dispersed fairly quickly, but look at what they left behind.
If anybody needs a folding chair, come down to Aikens Oval. I think it's amazing how people brought them and they just left them.
When Howie Roseman took the stage, he said, "Hey, Philly, this is what heaven is like, huh?" I don't think he meant this part. I think he meant about an hour ago when Eagles fans were out here in force.
It was amazing.
Celebrating the Super Bowl championship, and now the cleanup begins, and now the Eagles front office has some tough decisions to make as they look into free agency and how they can make this team even bigger, better, and stronger for next season.
But I think a lot of the fans are basking in the glow tonight. Because
Absolutely.
it really was for hours and hours. We were here singing and chanting and then getting to see the players in person and hear their words of inspiration. It was an incredible day.
It was orderly, it was controlled, it was fun, and everyone collectively came together to celebrate their Super Bowl champion Eagles.
It was the hands down most fun I have ever had doing this job in all the years I have done this. And it was fun because the entire city was here. The entire city was celebrating something that this town has been starving for and been hungry for. And we heard from all the hungry dogs up there. They're hungry. They want to go eat. And guess what? They did just that in Super Bowl 52.
You know, I thought it was fun listening to Nick Foles, too, because he basically thanked the fans, thanked the organization for letting him be part of such a special team. And it was short, and it was humble, and it was understated.
Yeah. That's Nick Foles.
Yeah, that's him. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's part of why I think he's so relatable and so beloved, that he does a fantastic job, but he doesn't really pat himself on the back about it.
His story is a special one as far as the entire team, and we will continue to tell what happened here, the celebrations, the enthusiasm, the excitement. We're going to be here throughout the evening. So until then, we'll go back to Jim in the studio. We're here at Aikens Oval talking a little trash, but also a great afternoon as well.
That's what Rick does,
Jim.
Trash talking
Well,
all the time.
trash talk is appropriate. We're talking about football after all. Deuces Rogers.